I'm talking to you from a hotel room in Thailand. um, and to prove that this is not AI, this is just me. I have this blue thingy because I cut myself and I had to put a bandage on. I cut myself with a kitchen knife this morning, so that's why I have this blue thingy. And I have a heart condition, so I take blood thinners. So even if I have a little scratch, it's like this enormous blood bath. So I have this big bandage, and I'm here in Thailand because it's very cold in Europe, and um, with my heart condition, I suffer greatly when it's very cold. So I'm spending a few months in Thailand um, to not be cold. And I'm taking the opportunity to record these videos and to write more essays and write on my third science fiction novel. So because I'm retired, well, you can see I'm not young. I'm retired and I spend my days um, writing, and I already wrote a lot of essays, also on geopolitics, but I also write novels, science fiction, and that's what I do during my day, and it's hobbies, Now that I'm retired, I can pursue my hobbies. And what you see behind you is my hotel room, and it's a bit messy. But that just proves that this is not AI. This is a real place. I'm sitting behind my laptop, and I really have to keep watching the camera and not the screen. I'm sorry if it's strange, and you know. Anyway, I just want to prove to you that this is really, really a real person just talking to the camera and telling my stories. And if you want to read about it and learn more about it, you can read my essays. And but I'd like to talk a little about it on my videos for people who do not like to read very much. And you can see who's actually writing this. And I have two masters, one in law and one in clinical psychology. And I'm Dutch. And I started out as a lawyer, as a barrister for the English speaking amongst us, for the English people. And then after a few years, I went to work for local government in the city of Amsterdam, which I did for 20 years. And I have a huge amount of experience of civil servants and how politics and work, how laws work. I worked as a coach after after I studied psychology. And then I had a heart attack, and I was sent out to pasture. And now I write and make videos because I'm retired. So that's me. And after over 20 years as a civil servant, I can tell you, like, for the British people among you, there's this wonderful BBC comedy series, Yes Minister and Yes Prime Minister, and I can thoroughly recommend it to everybody. It should be compulsory watching for every politician, because it is exactly, it depicts real life civil service and how politics work. And they shot it in 70s and 80s, and in 2015 it was still the same arguments and the same policies, and it just hasn't changed in 40 years. It is amazing. And if you want to know how government works, watch the series and have fun, because it's really very funny. And it is very accurate. And if it's accurate for the British and the Dutch, I assume it's pretty universal for any civil service in a democratic Western country. So I recommend that. And I've been watching the YouTube channel called Gary's Economics, and that is by Gary Stevenson. And he explains very eloquently and in very simple terms how the 1% rule the world, how they are sucking up all the wealth in society, like this big Hoover in the sky, so sucking up all our money and buying all our assets, which is why house prices are going up, which is why stock prices are going up. And with that money, they buy the government. And what do they want from the government? To pay no taxes and to not be regulated. They do not want to be held accountable. They want to do everything to reach their goal, which is more wealth, more money, more power. It's like this endless cycle of greed, and greed is not good. It just isn't. Like Gandhi said, there is enough in the world for man's need, but never ever enough for man's greed. And right now we're at the crossroads, and because what has changed? What is the urgency today which makes the situation different from 20 years ago? Well, it's very simple. It's very simple. The 1% have been too greedy. They sucked up too much. They made the US government go into debt and borrow so much money, they're going to go broke. 36 trillion. And next year it'll be 38 and it'll be 40. And they have a deficit of 2 trillion per year. It is unsustainable. BlackRock, one of the people in the 1%, one of the companies, which invest a portfolio of 17 trillion dollars. You know, they are definitely the 1%, or the Finch guy. If you consider that the American government has a yearly budget of 7 trillion, you know, BlackRock can buy America several times over. They have so much money. And I saw a documentary on YouTube, and they had calculated. Now, I just saw this. It was American public television, and they had this documentary about Trump and how he had in his lifetime sucked up $8 trillion through all kinds of deals and frauds and manipulation, and especially these past few years. and especially this year with the presidency and cryptocurrency, and he is estimated to go from 4 billion to 24 billion next year. But anyway, they calculated that Trump had sucked up and fraud and stolen and whatever, manipulated a total of $8 trillion. And then they said that they had calculated that those $8 trillion would buy food and housing for the whole world population for the next 100 years. This one man, if you take his $8 trillion, he could pay for the next 100 years for the whole world to have basic housing and food. And basically, there are hundreds of millions or billions of people are starving and homeless because this man does not give his money. He's just keeping it all. He's just sucking it up. He's part of the big Hoover in the sky, sucking up all our money and wealth and assets. And it makes me very, very sad. Because BlackRock owns a portfolio of 17 trillion, and we only need 8 trillion for the next 100 years to feed and house everybody on the whole planet. And when you think about it, and BlackRock is just one of the big three investment companies. So we have wealth and assets to create a middle class living standard for everybody on the planet. And there are about 2 billion people who are just living, just barely surviving. Hundreds of millions who are starving. So that makes me sad, and that's why I make these videos, to convince people or to say to people, we, the people, have the power. We can vote for political parties that say we are going to distribute wealth equally within countries and between countries, and we're going to work together and trade and not be at war, be at peace, not fight each other, work together, produce products, trade, and make wealth, even more wealth than we have today. If we would stop fighting each other and work together, we could be making a huge amount of money. And Europe, the history of Europe from the Second World War until now proved that. Because we stopped fighting, we started working together, and we became very rich. All we need is peace and cooperation, and just stay on the couch. Sit on your couch in the evening and watch television and be amused by Yes Minister and other comedies. And just do not pick up a gun and go to war. Just sit on the couch and enjoy yourself. Watch Netflix. That's all you have to do. And then vote for the political party that wants to redistribute wealth equally. And Now, you need to be aware that we are descendants from apes. So we have some basic instincts. Our psychology has basic instincts. Uh, Xenophobia, that is, we are in our own group because apes need to, we're social beings. We live in groups. Being social means to live in groups and to put your own group first, and to make sure and to put all your energy into the well-being of your group. That is what social means. It doesn't mean communist. It seems to be like it's some dirty word, but it isn't. It just means a group of people working together for the common good. And we have an innate fear of the other group, of course, because they're different. And then we have an innate fear of change, because often change is not good, but we're humans, so we're smart. We have this, frontal cortex, and we know sometimes change is good. And so we need to be aware that our basic instincts are to put our own group first, to not like the other group, and to be conservative, to not want change. Now, when you realize this, that I, you, we have these basic instincts, then we can choose what is advantageous to us. And in the rainforest, our group was just 25 monkeys with 25 trees area. So since then, in a couple 100,000 years, we've grown to be a planet. Our group is the whole planet. Our race is the human race. So now we need to be social to our group and work together and be critical about change, but we're humans. So if it's a good thing, if it'll make a life better, like steam engines, railroads, airplanes, we embrace change because, internet, computers, AI, robots, it's a wonderful thing. And it can bring us much, much wealth and prosperity. And we just need to be aware that we're innately programmed to be to distrust others and to be afraid of change. But we can choose not to follow those instincts when it's advantageous to us. So when you vote for a political party, you can vote for the party which says, well, we don't like the others and we don't want change, which is basic instinct. Or you can vote for the party which says, we want wealth and prosperity for everyone. And, I know what party I would vote for. I would vote for the wealth and prosperity and sharing and working together and embracing change and progress. That's the party I would vote for. And maybe you would want to do that too.